The topic of money can be very sensitive for many people. It can be so contentious that people will avoid the discussion altogether rather than focus on managing their money. Hello and welcome back to our channel. Honestly speaking, it is much harder to keep money than to make it. So in this video, we will talk about 10 money traps that you need to avoid. Money trap number 1, unhealthy addictions. While doing a drug or two in college may have seemed harmless at the time, the truth is that constantly using drugs can lead to a very serious health and financial issues. You can see that many drug and cigarette users are hindering their ability to achieve financial freedom if you estimate how much they spend in a week or a year. As an example, cigarette smokers typically smoke a pack a day, which costs them around $8. In total, this comes to $2,912 per year or $56 a week. Sadly, many drug and cigarette users fall into this habit due to curiosity and peer pressure, even when a similar amount of money could pay for your property taxes or a 2-week vacation. The long-term effects of this habit are extremely detrimental to your health and wealth, so if possible, avoid spending on these items. On to the topic of gambling. Sports bets can be alluring, but they can also be a financial trap. Signing up for games like football, racing, and other sports can be exciting, but there is no guarantee of winning money. Bets have become quite fashionable, but by continually staking your money on games of chance, you risk getting stuck in a hole of addiction that many never escape. The act of gambling involves risking something you really value in order to gain something even more valuable. The reward system in your brain is stimulated by gambling, much like that of drugs or alcohol, and can lead to addiction. Money trap number 2, living beyond your means. Young adults may find it difficult to resist this temptation. When you are making a consistent income for the first time in your life, it can be tempting to blow your money immediately out of college. It's tempting to buy a new car, move to a new house, and fly first class, but you'll end up living paycheck to paycheck if your income isn't enough to cover these costs. It is similar to lifestyle inflation, wherein an increase in earnings causes you to increase your living expenses. In most cases, a raise in pay should not justify an increase in your cost of living, but the majority of people feel that they should reward themselves once they are paid. The inflow of cash should be directed toward investing and acquiring assets so that you can prolong your wealth. One of the primary reasons people spend more money than they can afford is to impress others. They probably have low self-esteem, so without material goods, they feel inadequate when compared to others. But this is a flawed understanding of the world. In the words of Dave Ramsey, we buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like. And I think a lot of people are guilty of this. When you learn to delay gratification and stop worrying about impressing people, your financial prospects will improve. Another reason for overspending is social media. It isn't uncommon for people to spend a great deal of money on looking rich without actually being rich. For instance, if an internet entrepreneur was told he would never make it big in business, he might purchase an expensive car when he makes his first big sale in order to prove his critics wrong, again falling into the trap of impressing others. It's a never-ending quest to impress others. At all points of life, there will always be others to compete with or to show off to. It makes no sense for you to purchase a $2,000 gadget on a monthly salary of $3,000. Be wise, keep track of your spending, and create a budget to ensure you don't spend more than you make. Money trap number 3, not taking financial risks. There is a saying that says no risk, no reward, and believe it or not, taking risks is actually necessary to make money. But you should calculate the risk you will need to take. Investing in an index fund, for instance, is more risky than leaving your money in a savings account, but you will never be able to grow your money making the typical 0.09% interest rate a savings account pays out. The investment of an index fund, for example, which reflects the movements of the entire stock market, has historically provided returns of at least 7% annually, which is a calculated risk that I believe is worth taking. Just to be clear with you guys, we are not talking about quitting your job and launching your own company. Some people are just not wired that way, and that's okay. What we're saying here is that you shouldn't be afraid of trying new things that will take you away from where you are or where you truly want to be. Take the opportunity to learn a new skill, ask for a raise at work, or even explore that new career path that has always intrigued you. Risk is an inevitable part of life. It can be scary to make mistakes, make a wrong investment, or even feel out of place, but they all are necessary to move from where we are to where we want to be. Money trap number 4. Buying a car that's too expensive for you. You shouldn't buy a fancy car to impress someone you don't like just because you can. There are so many price variations that people must spend wisely on transportation. One of the largest financial pitfalls a person can face is buying a new car. Within the first year, a new car loses about 30% of its value. By the end of 3 years, it loses half its value. We will be able to set aside more income for investing if we learn to protect and enjoy what we already have. Money trap number 5. Overpaying for a home. Investing in a home that increases in value can be a practical expense, but there is a point at which the benefits diminish. If you funnel every dime that you have into a mortgage for a home that you really cannot afford, you don't have any money left for emergencies. On average, a monthly payment that you cannot afford may place a great deal of strain on your budget for 30 years. You should instead keep an eye on the local market and buy when you can find a home at a reasonable price you can afford. Money trap number 6. Insufficient emergency funds. It's a fact that life doesn't always go right for you, and you sometimes need cash to get out of a problematic situation. Suppose your washing machine breaks down or your car suddenly stops working. There is no escaping the fact that nearly everything costs money, which is why not having an emergency fund set aside is a critical financial mistake. In a study conducted in 2019, the Federal Reserve found that nearly 40% of Americans could not cover a $400 emergency with cash, savings, or by using a credit card. Around 27% of respondents said they would need to borrow or sell something to get the $400, and another 12% would not be able to do it at all. So here are some strategies for saving these funds. Simply set up an automatic 10% deduction from your paycheck with your employer so that a portion of your paycheck goes into an emergency savings account. How do you know when you've saved enough? Usually, financial experts recommend saving 6 months' worth of living expenses, but if you want to be extra cautious, you can save 1 year's worth. Money trap number 7. Over-reliance on credit cards. Some people find credit cards a convenient method of making purchases, while others find they can be a one-way ticket to debt. Credit cards are essential for some business applications, but relying too much on them can ruin your finances. You are more likely to make impulse purchases because of the use of credit cards. A swipe gives you the illusion that you can afford anything and everything. According to a study conducted by an MIT student in 2001, shoppers who use a credit card instead of cash tend to spend up to 100% more. Make the switch to paying with cash if you find yourself uncontrollably spending on credit. The physical act of handing over cash and seeing your wallet empty will make you feel the financial impact of the purchase much more than if you were to use a credit card. Money trap number 8. Being dependent on just one source of income. Having a salary as their sole source of income is a way of life for most people. It is unfortunate that jobs aren't as secure as they are perceived to be. It's estimated that U.S. businesses laid off more than 21 million employees in 2018. This means that if your job was the only way to make money, your cash flow could suddenly dry up. You need to think of yourself as a tree when it comes to income sources. Do trees produce fruit from only one branch? Not at all, right? There are multiple branches that produce fruit and flowers. Likewise, you should do so as well. It's crucial to keep learning and developing new methods of letting your income work for you. Using this method is a smart move, will help you sleep better at night, and will keep your cash flow safe. Money trap number 9. Investing in the wrong way. There is a lot of risk involved when it comes to investing, and many people put their money into things based on tips from friends or their firm belief that popular stocks will continue to rise. Almost everyone seems to be keen to invest in real estate. It is a common misconception that owners of investment properties are financially secure. In their minds, rent payments will start rolling in every month and their income will continue to rise. Sadly, this is not always the case. There are times when tenants fail to pay rent, appliances break, or your property's value drops. As with any investment, there is an element of risk. Before investing hard-earned funds into a certain market or product, it is important for the wise investor to gain the proper knowledge about the market or product. It's important that you conduct proper background research on whatever it is you want to enter into, and not just because one of your friends is making money from it or a sales representative told you about its benefits. Money trap number 10, owning just one bank account. Who would have thought that having only one bank account could be risky? Well, let me tell you why. First, you will have a hard time managing your money if you only have one bank account. Your emergency savings, bills, and college savings are all tucked into one bank account. If you splurge and spend the money, you might not have emergency cash or tuition money readily available in an emergency. This is why having at least 3 bank accounts is a good idea. The first account should be for emergency funds in case anything goes wrong, the second account is for day-to-day bills, and the last one is called a play account. The play account is where you keep money for entertainment and vacations. And if you want to take things one step further, you should set up an untouchable account. This account can be used as a savings account that paycheck deductions are directed to every month so that you can automate your savings process and ensure your wealth grows over time. Regardless of where you are in life, living can be pretty expensive. It is a good thing that not all financial hardships are obligatory. There are ways these problems can be avoided. It's easier to save money when you successfully avoid most of the money traps that come your way. Over a period of time, this grows to give you better control over your financial well-being and a closer step to your financial goal. So that is all the time we have today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have questions, please do feel free to ask them in the comments below. And don't forget to show your support by liking this video and subscribing to our channel to view more of our amazing videos. And one more thing, kindly hit that bell icon on your way out to remain updated about all of our future videos. We'll see you next time.